Yes.
All right, good. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. So we're in commercial break. So essentially what this is we're just going to we're just going to watch the show as it plays as it airs live, and if you have any commentary, if you have any thoughts as we watch the episode together, if you have any reactions, comments as they occur naturally, just bring them up.
Okay.
It's an informal it's just an informal chat where we we view the same episode together, and the whole point of this is to try to make live commentary as we go. Looks like you got a call.
Hi. Hi. Okay. Send it to me. I'm on a live video chat with Jordan. We're watching Rugrats. Send it to Hayes at aspire.edu. Okay, cool. All right, bye. Okay, Jordan?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm also trying to ask I just asked Matt maybe if he was interested in joining. And this is just a trial run to see how things are going.
Okay.
And I think I just thought this was just a fun way, at least for me and potentially other viewers, to just, I would say, bring up our, bring up our thoughts as the show goes along, because I've been watching these shows for a while now, and I just see a lot of things here. As I watch them, I make a lot of commentary. I just thought if I maybe sharing my thoughts with others as I watch the show might be a good idea. And the show is back on, as you can
Okay,
see.
wait. Okay.
And as
Not
you,
quite.
oh, for me, the episode is back on, but
Oh,
because
I'm not quite.
it's it's asynchronous. What you see on your channel is a little must be delayed than what I'm seeing on my TV. And that's probably natural. What you see is not exactly.
Okay, now I'm there.
Uh, Now I'll tell you right off the bat, this episode is one of the newer series, or one of the newer episodes past the Rugrats in Paris movie. I didn't really see the Rugrats in Paris, and this is where I felt as though things kind of shifted. And what I mean by that is I've heard other people make commentary about, take for example, the first three seasons of Rugrats were the best because that really took where the story was actually supposed to go, or that's those are the seasons which actually stayed true to the story.
The first seasons?
The first three seasons, and anything that aired between 1991 and 1993. But
Okay.
the earlier ones, like for example, the slide, the trial, or things like, for example, where Angelica loses Cynthia. Apparently, we're not going to see any of those earlier episodes tonight. When I'm looking through the program guide, and mainly the episodes that are coming up for tonight are, except for the next one, they've occurred after the original three ran its course. They're not bad at all. I actually liked some of the episodes past when they took the hiatus. If you didn't know, Rugrats took a hiatus after the first three seasons because Paul Germain, who was really one of the co-creators and the creative driving force behind the whole series, had some creative differences with Arlene Klasky and Gabor Chupo, who were the masterminds, or who also worked with Paul Germain. And
Hmm.
so he and his team decided to leave the show, and that's why they went into a hiatus at the end of the 1993 season or 1994. They had enough episodes to run into 1994, and they were able to do a Passover special, a Hanukkah special, and a Mother's Day special. But beginning with the Hanukkah episode, that episode was done through a different team of writers, producers, and directors. And so you can see, and well, you'd have to see a different episode. You'd have to see an episode from the first three seasons, and then you'd have to see a later episode to understand, for example, how people have said that Angelica's character was toned down through the years. She started out as mean as she could be, but then as the show progressed, she began the creative team began to tone her character down and things like that. It's very interesting. What? Hello? Can you? I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I'm sorry. I have to respond to mom.
Yes, that's fine. That's completely fine. I didn't mean to distract you. Hmm. This is the you missed the first, or did you see part of the episode? And it looks like we have Matt on. Hello, Matt. Can you hear me or no? Hello, Matt. Can you? Hello, Matt. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Hello.
Hi,
Hi.
Matt.
Hello.
Okay. What do you need to do? Are you near a TV right now?
I am.
Can you tune it to Teen? You need to tune it to Teen Nick in order to fully get the benefit from the whole dialogue.
Okay, doing that now. Hold on a sec.
Make sure the sound's turned down so that
What was
the
that?
the make sure that the sound's down enough so that this session doesn't pick up the live TV
All
audio.
right, let me turn it down. Sorry, I'm new at this. Okay, is that good, Jordan?
Yes.
All
And
right.
so essentially the premise of this is we're all watching the same show together, and the premise of this is to really share our experiences and memories that came out of this a particular episode of what we're watching right now.
Okay,
And
can I add something about the episode?
if there's anything that you remember about it, go ahead. If
Well, I just turned it on, and I noticed that um, Kimmy is on it, so that means it's one of the newer Rugrats episodes that
yes,
aired. Um,
yes,
and obviously, as everyone knows, that's a Rugrats fan like us. Kimmy is actually the uh, sister of Chucky because
yes,
Chaz ends up marrying her mom.
yes, that's correct.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't watch this particular episode a lot. Seeing I remember seeing the previous episodes that I know Matt you didn't watch, and I was about to ask Elizabeth if she was able to watch the first episode in this particular block about Dill on the computer,
I saw that.
oh
I saw that one. I didn't see the second one because
oh
my internet was delayed.
right. Well, I can remember. Yes, I have fond memories of that particular one, and I just found it
Episode. I don't
interesting.
remember this episode.
Neither do I.
Yeah, I don't really
Um,
remember this episode either, to be honest. It seems like one of the newer ones because, like I mentioned, Kimmy's.
yes.
So I don't really remember this one either. But when you said Dill with the computer, explain more into that.
Well, apparently the premise was Tommy at the beginning made a wish that Dill wanted, made a wish for Dill to disappear, and Angelica essentially pulled a trick of making the babies believe that Dill was magically transported and was stuck in the computer and couldn't get out.
Oh, honestly, I don't really recall that, to be honest. Uh,
Oh,
but speaking of Rugrats, on another note, I always wondered how they came up with the dinosaur named Reptar. You ever wonder that?
Yeah.
no.
I mean, that's a very interesting name, Reptar.
And yes, and from what I heard, it was actually supposed to be a take on Godzilla. And actually, funny fact, the creators of Godzilla, the people behind Godzilla, actually think sent something to Nickelodeon or the creators of Rugrats because they thought that the Reptar character had infringed upon Godzilla, actually.
Speaking of Reptar, remember the Reptar bars and they turn your tongue green, like in the show?
Yes. I
And
remember
of course,
that.
Reptar cereal, too.
Yes, I can remember that exactly. I'm just trying to find if there's any lawsuit.
Well, Rugrats is coming up next again. I wonder if it's an episode we recall better.
Well, it's going to be from season 6.
Oh. How many
Episode
seasons were there, Jordan?
7, 8, 9, 10, 10, at least 13 or
That's not including the Rugrats all grown up, is it?
no, that is not including All Grown Up.
Did you like that series, the Rugrats all grown up? That was like in the early 2000s, wasn't it?
Yes, I did for the first
I liked it
few
too.
episodes. But then I've heard from other people who say the All Grown Up was worse. It essentially
Well,
killed the
I
series.
thought that Rugrats was probably better because it's the original, but I did enjoy the all grown up. I was wondering if maybe sometime we could just talk about Nickelodeon in the 90s, like all different shows, if we could do that sometime.
Yes, that'll come up in the cards. And this is really forum to discuss anything that we wanted. I just wanted to try to give this a shot and we could do this on the night when there are other shows on, if you if you're interested and if time allows. But you see,
Right.
when I've been watching shows on the Splat and other episodes sometimes pull me in, I'm able to take, for example, quote episodes, or I have my own thoughts as I'm watching a show that I really thought were interesting, and I figured this opportunity was a chance for me to kind of share them with other people live. I know tonight is a little bit on the weird and awkward side because there aren't any shows or episodes that really stand out to me as
You with me.
memorable. But I'm sure there will be other nights where, take for example, there will be shows that we might remember more, or we might have
Yes. You
more.
hear about the Pete reunion?
I did see that, yes.
June 17th.
Even though I didn't really get into Pete and Pete, I only watched a very few number of episodes, and it was not one of my fondest shows.
I
While we're
like
at
I
it,
like Pete. I was a fan of that show.
hey, while we're into it, that gives me an idea. Let's switch gears a little bit. I'll go around and I'll ask both of you what were your absolute favorite eras from the Nickelodeon channel? What were your favorite shows of all time? If you had to have, if you had to choose your top three,
Well, that's tough. Okay.
and Elizabeth, you can join also. You can join also. I'm
All right.
gonna.
My top three were Rugrats, Hey Arnold, and Rocket Power.
Oh yes, I would enjoy those. I enjoyed those as well. Probably if you break it down between the the animated and the live action, my top three would probably have to go with Rugrats, Keenan and Kel, and it's this is a tough one. Either well, I would say Hey Arnold, probably.
My top three are Doug, Hey Arnold, and this one might surprise you, but I'm gonna have to go with Our Real Monsters for my third.
Yes.
Hmm.
Any favorite episodes? Any favorite episodes from the three?
Yes, Our Real Monsters. I like the Halloween episode, where the little brother dresses up as Ickis
Oh,
and
right.
he goes trick or treating, and they think it really is Ickis.
Oh, I see.
Does anyone remember that episode?
I remember that one.
I
That's
don't.
one of my favorites.
I don't. Strangely enough.
Yes, it's a Halloween episode, and like Oblina and Crumb
Yes.
think the little brother of the big brother is actually a bully of the little brother. He thinks that the costume is actually really Ickis.
Oh. Oh, I
Mm-hmm.
see.
And then going back to Hey Arnold, if I had to pick a favorite Hey Arnold episode, which is tough, I would probably have to say that one of them uh, I like a lot, like pretty much them all. But if I had to pick a favorite one, it's probably I don't know. I kind of like the one where they're doing the play with like the food groups
Yes,
and
that was
and
actually the very first one that they produced.
and Gerald and Arnold. Arnold's the banana and Gerald's the strawberry.
Yes.
Hmm.
And
Yes.
I like that one. And they ride a bus and
Yes.
they skip the play, then they come back to the very end of the play. I like that one.
Yes.
And Doug, my favorite episode of Doug, that's tough. But my favorite episode of Doug would probably be I don't know, I like them all, but if I had to choose one, wow, this is going back a ways. Oh, I remember the one that I really liked was when Stinky Rogers' cat got sick,
Oh, yes.
and it wasn't Stinky wasn't he was a she and she had kittens.
Yes, I remember that very
That
well.
was one of my favorites.
Yes. All right, Elizabeth. Oh, did you give Elizabeth? Did you give?
Yeah, my three
Mm-hmm.
are Rugrats, Hey Arnold and Rocket Power. And probably my favorite Hey Arnold episode is when they kind of explain the origin of like how Arnold's parents died.
Yes.
But, like they never actually give it away, but they sort
Yes.
of like go through that. Um, and then Rocket Power, probably when I don't remember the full episode, but I remember like there's a
Yes.
hurricane coming through,
Oh
and
yes.
like Rocket Boy tries to go out and surf it,
Yes, I
and like
remember that very well.
yeah, and then Rugrats. Um, I don't know. I don't really know if I have a favorite episode. I
Neither
like them
do I.
all.
Well, the whole series actually, at least in my opinion, I think the whole series really has a lot of favorite moments in it that really are timeless classics or really stand the test of time. I'll say that the All Grown Up, the special, if you remember how All Grown Up got started, it actually started as a TV movie, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
It celebrated the 10th anniversary of the entire series back in 2001. I liked the TV movie itself. I think that was one of the best things that the show had ever done. And then that led into the creation of the series. What you two might not have known is on the ratings that All Growed Up. It was actually called All Growed Up, but that TV movie special generated a lot of ratings, almost as many ratings as the Super Bowl. It was the
Wow.
highest rated TV program, the highest rated Nickelodeon program at the time, and that just the spring in popularity eventually led Nickelodeon to commission an entire series based on that TV special because a lot of people tuned in and wanted to see the babies age 10 years older. That made sense. What
Mm-hmm.
we didn't really
Yeah.
see what we didn't really see was the Rugrats age, grow and develop as kids, as children between ages, let's say 3 and 9. We just saw them as preteens. And
Speaking of Rugrats, can I add some of my favorite episodes of Rugrats?
sure,
One that really sticks out. I mean, remember the episode where Stu is making chocolate pudding at like 2 in the morning, and Dee goes, "Stu, what are you doing?" He goes, "Making chocolate pudding." Remember that episode?
I do. Yes, I've watched
You
it
Mm-hmm.
know, you remember
on
that, Elizabeth?
occasion.
Yeah, I do.
I remember the other one where it was kind of a sadder episode where Chucky had a pet Melville. Remember that, the bug
Yes,
Melville, and he passed away. That was a sadder episode. That was a
yes,
memorable episode of Rugrats.
yes. All
Um,
from season 2 or 3.
yes. So that was a very touching, sad episode. To me, it indicated how a bond, someone had a bond and a love for something, and
Yes,
loved it so much and developed a friendship with it, and then realized when it was gone, you know,
right.
uh, that he got very sad and just, a bond between a human and a pet, and realizing how sad when the pet
Yes,
goes, and it was just
Mm-hmm.
one of, like, a very emotional episode, for Rugrats.
yes. And that's essentially if you didn't know this, Matt, this is when the writers or the cast, the directors really started to go true to the story. I think they were the ones who wanted to create a story where you get to go into the minds of these babies. Essentially, the premise of the show was if the adults were around or not around, and the babies could talk, what would they say? And essentially, the premise of the entire show was really to put yourself in the mind of a baby or a toddler and to say, how would I understand the world from this primitive, I don't want to say primitive, but this very basic level of understanding, or the basic the brain development that one has, or the perceptions of the world that one has at that age.
Yes,
And
I just saw it. Remember the screwdriver where Tommy would have in his diaper and he would just open the playpen and then they would escape?
yes,
You know, the magic of a screwdriver would open any the playpen and they would just, escape.
Mm-hmm.
yes, that would
And then
happen.
another one, remember the episode where Chucky got a new bed and he was very, very scared of sleeping in the bed without his crib? He loved his crib and then he got a new bed.
Yes, and
And then
then the
Tommy
monster.
the night trying to be brave that nothing was underneath the bed. Then they went under the bed together, and there wasn't any monsters under it. And then Chucky's dad, Chaz, came in and
Yes,
comforted them and said everything's okay.
yes, and it later turned out to be one of Chaz's
Yes, sweater. Yep.
sweaters. You see, those are the golden episodes, and the reason why probably those episodes are most memorable to us is because they were created by a team led by Paul Germain, who actually had the idea, or he was really the driving force behind the entire show.
Right.
And I think he had a good direction. Artistically, he made the babies the smartest, or at least he had a vision that he felt was the absolute best for the show. What I've heard some other people say is, for example, the episodes, for example, that we're seeing tonight, because they were produced in the later season, aren't as good, and they really dumbed down the characters.
Yes.
I'd have to disagree with some of those things. I don't know. My opinion is, even in the later seasons, for example, so the episode that's on right now, I actually remember. I remember seeing it when it was on during the late '90s, and I could relate to the story that's playing on now. I remember when Chucky got the car, and there were a lot of problems, or they went through a lot of problems trying to keep the car up to date, or
Hmm.
uh, I kind of like this one. I have some memories from this one also.
Remember the other one, Clan of the Duck, where
Yes.
they meet the other kids from like Scotland or something? And
Yes.
I remember and there's other ones that ring a bell. Remember the character Big Justin?
Yes.
And remember another episode that's in my mind. Remember when Charlotte and Drew think they're gonna have a baby, and Angelica has like nightmares that she has a brother, and the brother turns into like
Yeah.
Oh
this
yeah.
very scary baby, and like he's eating like what's he eating, like cheese or something, or like
It
he's
was
just
a
like
piece of cheese.
nom or something. He's eating like cheese or something.
Yes, it
Uh,
was a piece of cheese.
I
uh,
remember that one.
yeah, it was a really scary like image of a baby brother. And another one, remember when they pulled out the drain at the bathtub and they thought they were going to go down the bathtub
Yes.
drain? Remember that one?
I do, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell, you see, I can already tell the episodes that we're naming here were part of the golden era. And it's interesting because I think that's what what we're trying to say here is those those episodes that really stick in your head are thanks to Paul Germain's vision for the show, which perhaps began to deteriorate after he and his team left. That kind of backs up what I was saying earlier about how when the new team came in after the show went on hiatus, they started to take the show in a direction that really the viewers didn't really feel memorable anymore. But I would have to argue against that because there are a few episodes in the later seasons that I actually liked and were memorable to me. But I don't know. I don't know. That's just my opinion. I'd love to hear your thoughts about this further, if you had any, if you had your own take on where you think this show or any of the other Nickelodeon shows began to evolve or develop as a whole. I don't know.
I think the Rugrats did get better in the beginning, and as you point out, thanks to Paul Germain and his ideas, I do feel like you pointed out again, that the earlier episodes of Rugrats did stick out to us more
Yes.
because they, were had better ideas and themes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But so I did think the beginning of the episodes of Rugrats probably were better than towards the end. But I just like Rugrats altogether. I just thought Rugrats was just a good show, and I look forward to all the episodes. But
Yeah, same for me.
the beginning episodes did stick out more to me probably than the later episodes.
Yes, and do you have, Elizabeth, do you have anything to say? Or if you don't, you can pass. That's completely fine.
I don't know. I don't really have much to say about that. I'm sort of like, it's been so long since I've seen Rugrats that I'm kind of like just sort of getting back into it now.
Yes.
Another thing, you know how they just did that graphic music? I noticed something. The
Yes.
earlier episodes had red writing, and
Yes, exactly.
and later episodes had black writing.
Yep. That was a sign of, well, that's one of the signs where you can tell how the original team came on and the newer team. The episodes with the black are considered the revival era. That's when the new team took over. If you didn't know this, Matt, Paul Germain at the end of the third season left and his team went on to do other things. Then they started, after about 2 or 3 years, they brought in a new team who did all the creative aspects, the writing, the producing, the directing, and even the animation.
Wasn't there someone named Gabar or something?
Goober.
It was something with Klasky Subo, right?
Arlene Klasky and Gabor Chupo were the two. They were a husband and wife couple who founded in their animation company called Klasky Chupo. They're the ones responsible for the creation of Rugrats, along with All Real Monsters, the Wild Thornberries, Rocket Power, all grown up.
Ooh,
and
I forgot about the Wild Thornberries. That's my favorite show.
Yes.
I loved that show as a kid.
And
That was a good show. It was amazing Eliza could talk to animals. She had that power. It was amazing. Yeah, that was a good show.
Unfortunately,
and
they're not
Nigel was actually voiced by Tim Curry.
Yes, I remember that. Unfortunately, they're not airing it anymore.
Oh wow!
On TV.
Why's that?
I don't really know.
I noticed that. They don't put it on the Splat, do they?
Nope. Mainly the other shows that we do have playing. I mean, for example, later tonight at midnight they are going to play Hey Arnold, and then at 2 a.m. they will do Rocko's Modern Life, and then On Mondays, they have Keenan and Kel, followed by more Rugrats. On Tuesday, it's Rocco's Modern Life. Wednesday, it's more Rugrats. And then we got on Thursday, Hey Arnold and Doug. Friday is Cat Dog, followed by more Rugrats. And then Saturday night, to kind of pick up on what Snick used to do, we have episodes of All That and Keenan and Kel. That's not a lot of variety. What do you guys think? Do you think?
I agree. I mean, it's some variety, but not a lot. It seems like some repetition to me.
Yes, I wish they could add some more. And I also noticed that, for example, on Hey Arnold, the episodes that they are showing on the Splat are repetitive. You just
Yes.
get the same episodes of Hey Arnold over and over and over again, and you don't get to see a lot of the episodes that at least I missed. For example, do you remember the Hey Arnold episode where Dino ends up faking his own death? And
Dino Spumoni?
yes,
Yes.
he ends up faking
Wasn't
his.
that a take on Frank Sinatra, that character?
Yes, it was. It was a combination of Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, and
Bing Crosby?
no, not necessarily Bing Crosby as much. No, but most of those lounge singers that were popular back in the 50s. But really, it was a take on Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin, if nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra. I have it here on the page, actually. If I may, I'll be able to share the screen with you, and I'll be able to pull up. Can you see this?
Yes. Oh, that's awesome, Jordan.
I've been following this page for 2 years, and you can see here it says Italian American heritage, whose career, manner, and persona are loosely based on a combination of Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra. Those are the two characters, really, or the two singers that really the creators of Hey Arnold wanted to portray on screen.
And wasn't Frank Sinatra's daughter Nancy Sinatra, and that's his daughter Nancy Spumoni?
Yes. I didn't catch that until much later, but yes, that's what they were. I think that's what they were trying to get at. There were a lot of pop culture references that most of these shows threw in that, as a kid, I didn't really catch. But then, looking back as an adult now, when I see these references, the light bulbs go off in my head that say, "Hey, I didn't realize that reference was in there," and I didn't catch until now. And with that being said, were there any pop culture references that you noticed, that you two noticed? I'm sorry, that you two didn't notice when you first watched them, and you realize you recognize them now?
One for me, Mickey Kaline, the baseball player. I think that was the take on Mickey Mantle, and I think Al Kaline. They're both professional baseball players. Mickey Mantle of the Yankees, and Al Kaline, I think, of the Tigers. But I didn't realize it until I got older, that I think that's a take on two baseball players. Remember Mickey Kaline, Arnold's hero for baseball?
Yes, I do. And going back to that same white web site, I can verify. Let me just see. Yes, I can verify that his name is a combination of legendary New York Yankee Mickey Mantle and Detroit Tiger great Al Kaline,
That's what I
who
thought.
were
Yeah.
great, who were both first ballot Hall of Famers. And I have another question for you too. You remember, if you had to guess what city Hey Arnold took place in, what would your first guess be? And then I'll tell you whether you're right or wrong.
New York.
New York City.
New York City. Actually, you guys would be kind of half right, kind of half wrong, because actually, the city's name is Hillwood, and that's a fictional city, which is actually a mash, kind of a combination of the three cities that Craig Bartlett grew up in. Craig Bartlett was obviously the creator of Hey Arnold. And the city of Hillwood is actually, it's a combination of three cities in one. Seattle, Washington, Portland, Oregon, and Brooklyn. So to say that New York is not part of it would be a lie, because Brooklyn, you can see, and I can see, I saw a lot of New York references in it. But so it was actually a combination of Seattle, Portland, and Brooklyn. All three cities where Craig Bartlett actually spent some time in his life. So
And Hey Arnold School was PS 118.
PS 118. There's
That's a New York City thing. The PS.
Yeah.
yes,
Yes. I think it stands for public school, but
Mhm.
primary.
PS 118, I believe, is a fictional school. I don't think it exists.
Actually, there is a real PS 118, and it's actually located in the Queens area.
Really? Wow.
It's an elementary
Hmm.
school. I think it's also known. I think the real PS 118 actually has called the Maurice Sendak Community School.
Yes, he created Little Bear.
Yes,
I used to like that show.
Me too.
I did too, and they don't. There's also, wait a minute. There's
It's
two.
on the books.
Yes. According to Google Maps, there's two PS 118s. There's one in Brooklyn, and then there's one near Jamaica.
Wow. That's Jamaica, New York, right?
Yes, in the Queens area. And it's also called Lorraine Hansberry School. And I believe that is an elementary school. That is the
Hey Jordan,
primary
I gotta sign off soon because I gotta get up early.
Well, that's fine. Well, thank you for participating. And at least, did you have fun? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, this is cool. I like
Would-
this.
I enjoy it. I love Nickelodeon, so
Okay. Thanks for joining us, and hopefully we could have you back on. Matt, if you want to stay on for longer, you can. If you want to sign off, you can also. If you both are signing off, then we're going to end it right here.
okay. Well, I guess I'll sign off also.
Mm.
It's getting a little late. I guess I'll sign off as well.
Well,
right.
thank
Bye,
you
everyone.
Bye.
Hope we can do this again sometime.
Yes.
Definitely.
Please invite your friends, people you know who also might be interested.
Okay.
Thanks, Jordan.
Take care, and we'll sign off.
Okay.